everyone, it's Sally here, and for today's AmaZix Asking Anything interview, I am speaking with Mark, who is the CEO for Codex Protocol. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Sally. Hi, everyone.
Before we get started with the community questions, maybe we can just start out with a brief summary of what Codex Protocol is and how it works.
That sounds great.
Okay.
So Codex is a decentralized registry for unique assets focused on the art and collectibles asset class. Art and collectibles is about a $2 trillion asset class. It includes fine art, but also fine wine, jewelry, watches, collectible cars, coins, and a whole lot of other things, including emerging digital collectibles. And what we're doing is creating a title registry where you can track your ownership of items and preserve the provenance and the history of ownership so that you can verify it while preserving your identity. And that's really important in the art and collectibles market because the whole value of pieces comes from its provenance and its authenticity. And so with this registry, we can create applications on top that can benefit people who use it, including asset-backed lending, insurance, artist royalties, title escrow. And we're really excited about the first application called Biddable, which is going to be integrated into a consortium of about 5,000 auction houses so that you'll be able to buy about $6 billion worth of fine art and collectibles when we launch,
Wow.
all with crypto and with no fiat.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. And that's a really good point with the provenance because, as you said earlier, I mean, art, a lot of the value is derived from who owned it, where it came from, its history. And so using blockchain and coming up with this was a very smart idea. So speaking of that, how did you come up with it? Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have a startup and a venture capital background. And my last company is called Lofty.com. It's an online marketplace for fine art and collectibles. And it was venture-backed, based in New York. I sold it about a year ago. And because I was operating in this space, I could see firsthand all the problems and difficulties that exist in this market. And I really started to understand that that's because it's the only market with no title registry. So it's really difficult to know what things are worth, figure out how to do business because you can't verify the information about items. And blockchain is really a perfect application for this because people are very sensitive about privacy in this market. But with blockchain, we can track the identity of objects without compromising the privacy of the owners. And it just seemed like such an amazing application of blockchain to solve such an important problem that I got together a bunch of technology companies and auction houses who all wanted to support it and solve this problem together to create an industry standard. Okay,
so that kind of leads right into the next question, which you already sort of answered. So why should art and collectibles be on the blockchain, and how is physical items linked to a digital identity? So I don't know if you want to expand a little bit more on that.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason there is no title registry here, I mean, imagine how hard it would be in real estate if you didn't have a title registry. You know, it would take forever to make sure you could buy a house. It would be really hard to get a mortgage. It would really be hard to get insurance. And that's how it works in art and collectibles today. And the reason is because no one has ever wanted to trust a central authority like a government or like an auction house or any other controlled entity with the art they own and the jewelry they own and the wine they own. It's pretty private. And blockchain's, one of its core use cases is being able to store data while preserving privacy. That's what Bitcoin is. It's a ledger that preserves the privacy of the owners. And we're doing the exact same thing here using blockchain to store data while preserving privacy. And that's just so key, and it's what enables everyone in the industry to accept this as the standard because they don't actually have to trust anyone. And now we can do what everyone's always wanted to do because we've solved the major hurdle.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense in this industry to use blockchain. So I think it's linked so well, and it solves that issue exactly. So, and who are some of your partners in the industry consortium?
So great question. I'm happy to answer that, but I realize I didn't answer one of your other questions, which is how we link.
The digital identity. Yes.
Yeah, the digital identity.
Let's go back to that first.
So that's a really interesting answer. At least I think so.
Okay.
And so first, we're going to be partnering with application developers who have built hardware to solve this problem. And there's a bunch of really exciting ones that already exist. There's one called Dust, which provides very inexpensive diamond dust that you can spray on a piece, and you can scan that crystalline structure with an iPhone and tie that to the digital record so that each item is fingerprinted and impossible to then fake that fingerprint. So there's a lot of there's other companies that provide RFID chips that you can attach to art, and you can hash that onto the blockchain. So there's really cool applications that enable this link. But the more nuanced answer is that there's actually a really strong incentive for everyone to keep the digital identity with the physical item. Because if value comes from provenance and the history of ownership, then if you disconnect it, you remove value from a piece. And if you swap in a fake for a real and you give it away with the provenance, well, you've just increased the value of the fake and decreased the value of the real. So there's not a lot of reason to do that.
Yes.
That's one of the benefits of a title registry. You can go and check if there's another one out there that has a better title, so you know that something you're considering buying might be inauthentic.
Okay, that makes sense. So then leading in from there, can we talk a little bit about your partners and who some of the people are that you're working with? Because that's very exciting.
Absolutely. So I think adoption is a really important thing for any blockchain project, but especially in this industry. And so we pulled together the providers of online bidding software and inventory management software to about 5,000 auction houses. So our two partners right now are liveauctioneers.com, which is an online marketplace for auction houses, and auctionmobility.com, which provides white label software, bidding software to many major auction houses. And they're going to integrate it in so that whenever you bid and buy, you can do so with crypto. And once you've purchased, you receive an immutable title or certificate of authenticity from that auction house, which exists in Codex Protocol, so you can prove where it came from and access services.
So that's excellent. So you're already integrated with these companies to start using the Codex Protocol in their auctions and their sales.
Yeah, that's right. And so, I mean, I can't emphasize enough how exciting it's going to be that, you know, in just a matter of months, this will be the largest pool of merchandise purchasable with crypto in the world. I mean,
wow.
Fine wine, watches, jewelry, exciting art. I'm just really excited about it, and I think you know, a lot of people with crypto should be buying and diversifying into this asset class because it's a good investment in addition to an enjoyable product.
Yeah, it sounds like a big deal. So we'll definitely be looking forward to that. And can you talk a little bit about some of the decentralized apps that you expect to see on the Codex Protocol?
Sure. So we've already partnered with almost a dozen applications. We're going to announce that in the next 2 weeks, but I'll give you a little preview.
Okay.
So we have an asset-backed lender who's going to make loans based on the information in your Codex title.
Okay.
We have shippers who will be able to tell you how much and how they can ship something. Shipping in this market is a little tricky because sometimes physical, objects can be large or dimensions matter or very valuable. We're going to have a network of experts who will provide virtual appraisals of your items. So you can have someone who used to work at Sotheby's or Christie's provide a virtual appraisal of your title.
Nice.
We're going to be working with companies that fractionalize the ownership of art, so you can trade little pieces of it on the block in crypto markets.
Interesting.
And we're going to be partnering with applications that link physical items with the digital records, like we talked about before. So there's a whole bunch, and there's more too. There's a whole bunch of really cool ones, all of which are going to be built on top of Codex Protocol.
Wow. It sounds really comprehensive, and like you have all of these different things thought out, and there's all these options, and it's definitely really encompassing project, and not just, you know, an auction or an art piece. It's like you've thought of everything. So that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to using that, actually. So it sounds very appealing. We do have another question here. It's actually from your community. They wanted to know, due to the vast amount of art and collectibles, and its detailed provenance, how does Codex Protocol build a database that can significantly challenge others in the industry and become the go-to place for information requests?
That is the secret sauce. I think that's adoption, and it's a hard problem in every market. In art and collectibles, a lot of the volume goes through auction houses. Because auction houses are running live auctions with hundreds or even thousands of items at once, and they all sell. And part of the role of an auction house is to appraise the piece before they sell it, compile the information about it, compile photos, compile a description, do research into the provenance and the past history, and present that to potential buyers, and then stand behind it with their reputation. And that's why we partner with auction houses. It's why we're starting with auction houses, because when auction houses sell these items, that information will get hashed and loaded onto the blockchain. Mm-hmm. So you can see the history, and so much volume goes through auction houses, and a good portion of art and collectibles at some point will circulate through the auction market, because that's a lot of the secondary market, that eventually a lot will be loaded onto the blockchain.
Okay.
And so auctions, where the volume is, that's where items circulate through, and that's how we're loading things onto the database in the first place.
Okay, that makes sense. So one more question from the community here. They want to know if there's a direct communication ability between the artist and the buyer.
There can be. One of the really cool things about a title is that you can code into that title and identity whatever you want. One thing we think will be coded in is artist royalties, so that if you resell a piece, the artist gets a portion of that. In fact, that's law in some countries. And one of the other things you could code in is the ability for the artist to reach out to an owner and communicate with them.
Okay.
Now, I think privacy is very important, so we've thought a lot about that. Mm-hmm. But it's really exciting that you can code rules into identity, and one of those rules could be an artist communicating directly with the owners of their pieces, or perhaps more likely, the owners communicating with the artist.
Mm-hmm. So it is a possibility then. Okay. And what is your strategy for the rollout and the product launch?
So we are launching our product on testnet at the end of next week. That's May 12th.
Okay.
And you'll be able to use the title registry on testnet, load items up, see how it works. And we're going to be live with our bidding application. So you'll be able to start buying items with crypto starting next week.
Wow, that's really soon. That's great.
So we're doing that, and then before the summer, we'll be on mainnet with the title registry live and full functionality, and we'll likely distribute our tokens in July once our product launch is done.
Okay. And next week you are having a live art auction, so maybe you could talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah, that's our launch, and we're really excited about it. We partnered with Consensus to do and Rare Art Labs to do a live charity auction of crypto-themed art at the Ethereal conference in Brooklyn on May 12th. And it'll be at the end of the conference, and we have an exciting auctioneer from Christie's who will be running the show. And we're auctioning off a lot of cool works, including a crypto kitty that's designed just for Ethereal. And also, do you remember the Twitter fail whale from when Twitter used to go down all the time?
I can't say I do, but
okay.
But tell us about it.
In the early days of Twitter would go down, and they had the most creative error page. It was called the Twitter fail whale.
Okay.
And we have the first and only original print of the Twitter fail whale.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, see, I've only been on Twitter for about maybe less than a year, actually. I'm very new to Twitter, so that's why I don't remember it, but I'm sure many people on there know exactly what you're talking about. So that'll be really interesting. I'm actually going to be at Consensus as well, so I might have to pop by at that auction and have a look.
You absolutely should.
Awesome. Are you having a token sale? Because I know that's probably on people's minds, and they're kind of wondering the details of that, if you can share anything.
I can't talk too much about that, unfortunately, but we will be releasing details of it shortly. What I can tell you is that we do have a token, and we're launching our product before the summer, and we will distribute and sell the tokens that are required to access that product prior to that and coincident with that launch. So in the next few months, you'll be able to purchase the token to use the product, and we'll publish details about that in the next few weeks.
Okay, so people should probably just keep an eye out on your Telegram, on your Twitter, on your website for details coming up over the next few weeks or month.
Exactly, and we're going to tell our community first.
Okay.
And so Telegram is the best place to learn about all that information.
Okay, and there will be links in the description below, so everybody, you can check out the website, the Telegram, the Twitter, and keep up to date on everything that's happening with Codex Protocol. And Mark, thanks so much for chatting with me today. This sounds like an amazing project, and I'm really looking forward to using this myself, and I'm sure everybody else is as well. So.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited about it, and if people in the community have any other questions, we'll compile them, and you can ask me anything, anytime.
Perfect. All right. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.